जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हे राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर हरे। हे राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर हरे। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा। जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा। चंद्राम प्रभु जगन्नाथ प्रभु जगन्नाथ। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी बापतुते। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी बापतुते। जय गौरनिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरनिता। Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hare, Gaura 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 Hare, Gaura 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 Hare. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jai Go Pramanande, Hari Hari Bo, Om Vishnupat, Paramahams Parivraj Kacharya Stotra Satasya Srimati Ramangi Dhesi Bhakti Vedanta Sanskopad की जय Om Vishnupat, Paramahams Parivraj Kacharya Stotra Satasya Srimati Ramangi Dhesi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वंद की जय नमाचार्य हरदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगमय यमुनामाई की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बो अल्लोरीष्ट मुड़ी हरे कृष्ण अल्लोरीष्ट मुड़ी हरे कृष्ण अल्लोरीष्ट मुड़ी हरे कृष्ण अल्लोरीस श्री गुरु and गौरांग शुक्लपाद की जय ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण विष्टाय गोत्र श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधराम नमस्ते सारस्वत देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारण निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य देशतारण उपाद की जाए Thank you all for joining. So today we have a special topic as May 3rd is Tuesday is Akshaya Trtiya and May 14th and 15th for New York, New Jersey and Canada is Narasimha Chaturdasi. So I thought let's discuss about those two and so that we can perform use the time very efficiently. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanasarakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Denatam Paramanandamadavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhayeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम् रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय गौर भक्त की जय. So on Akshaya Trtiya, first point we are discussing about Akshaya Trtiya, which is May 3rd Tuesday. Akshaya Trtiya means Akshaya means which is deteriorated. Akshaya means which never gets deteriorated. On that day, so many pastimes has happened as per the Vedic knowledge in the past history. Because such an auspicious day, anything we start on that day, it will always be eternal. It will never be depleted. It's such an auspicious day, and we don't need to find look for muhurta or this thing I want to start reading chanting or start reading Bhagavad Gita or any of the devotional services. Start worshipping the deity like that. Start creating a new preaching program, whatever, or prasadam distribution, whatever, something we are thinking to start new. So that is the day. Like Vijayadashmi is another day. So, but Akshaya Tritiya, we don't need to look for any auspicious time throughout the day. On that day, anything we do is always written expressly. We should engage in spiritual activities. So, we'll go through the list as per two or three pastimes. We'll read as per Sudama Vipra's pastime and then Draupadi's pastime. We'll read maybe from. So, first we'll understand there are many pastimes happen on the Akshaya Tritiya day, especially which are including Sri Prabhupada describing. So Sri Prabhupada even it is mentioned, Sri Prabhupada established League of Devotees in Jhansi, 1959 or so. 1959, May 16th, on Akshaya Trtiya day. Uh, so May 16th, 1953, League of Devotees, Prabhupada incorporated. So it's a very big milestone, Akshaya Tritiya day. So, and he also first disciple Prabhupada initiated there after this at that place in Jhansi, which is Acharya Prabhakar Mishra. So Prabhakar Mishra was his previous name, I believe. So then he became Acharya Prabhakar. So first disciple of Sri Prabhupada. And later on, then all rest of the disciples are here. So anyway, the first pastime we see is Lord Parshuram has appeared on this specific day, which is the out of this avatar. Lord Parshuram is Shaktyavesh avatar, who has annihilated 21 times Kshatriyas who are engaged in irreligious activities are not following the rules and regulations of the Vedic scriptures. So he has annihilated 21 times. That is Lord Parshuram, very powerful incarnation of the Lord, empowered incarnation of the Lord. The next pastime happened on Akshaya Tritiya is also the river Ganga. Ganga appeared on the earth. Obviously, Bhagirath, there's so many. So, to purify the descendants of Bhagirath, his ancestors. So, many tried before, but nobody could succeed. But on this day, Bhagirath has performed severe penances and with devotion. So that's why Lord Shiva also helped him and taking Ganga on his head, because otherwise no one can handle that force of Ganga without Lord Shiva capturing us. So that also happened on this day. And then also Treta Yuga started on this day. That is Trtiya, means third day. Vaisakha Sukla Trtiya. So that is the Akshaya Tritiya. And also and also Sudama visited Krishna to get wealth on the request of his wife Pradvarka. And we'll also read who is Sudama Vipra in Gaur Leela. This is in Krishna Leela, Sudama Vipra. And same personality is also there in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, Gaur Leela. And then the next one is Pandavas received Akshaya Patra from Sun God. We'll read that as since a nice pastime. So how they received it and under the guidance, and then how it was useful, how it was very useful. It never gets deteriorated. Same aspect. So that's why we see in India also it's a big program, Akshaya Patra program of um, prasadam distribution to all so many children and so many people all over India. Here also, it's many people know, even outside of Islam, general people also know Akshaya Tritiya, Akshaya Patra program. But yeah, it is from some other organization, but our ISKCON has it's the same program as prasadam distribution. Government is also funding in most of the ISKCON, Mayapur, Vrindavan, Ujjain, many places, Juhu, many other places this has been done. Now the Akshaya Patra, how Pandavas received, how Draupadi received this Akshaya Patra. That is very interesting pastime. Yeah. So when Pandavas are put into exile into the forest, so at that time, we'll see he is asking, what should I do? Because he is always serving Brahmanas. Now he's going to forest. How he is going to handle that? So he was very much worried. So he's asking various Brahmanas. So this is the first instruction we are getting from these pastimes. He's always guided by the devotee, especially guided by the spiritual master constantly. We'll need guidance. Yudhishthira Maharaj doesn't need guidance, but still he's asking, he's showing by his own example. Here is asking about first he asks Shaunaka. So he's asking Shaunaka, then Shaunaka explained how the root of suffering is attachment to matter. As a fire in the hollow of a tree consumes the whole tree through its roots, so a small attachment, if nurtured, can destroy a man. One who has renounced attachment, even though living in this world, becomes free from evil passions and the suffering they produce. Yudhishthira listened attentively, taking delight in the knowledge he had spoken so many times. He never tired of hearing it. Shaunaka told him that the desire for wealth and opulence, which could never be alleviated, is man's worst enemy. The highest happiness comes from the contentment, while the struggle for wealth, fame, followers, and the association of loved ones is the cause of bondage and ultimately pain. Therefore, O king, you should not covet anything. Do not desire to accumulate wealth even for virtuous purposes. It is better never to have touched mud than to wash it off after being covered in it. If you wish to acquire virtue, then free yourself from all desires for wealth. Yudhishthira was puzzled. O Rishi, I do not desire anything for myself. I only wish to have enough wealth to support the Brahmanas. What use is there in leading a householder's life if he cannot cherish and support his dependents? It is not the duty. Is it not the duty of a householder to maintain both his family members and the brahmacharis and renunciants? So too should a householder welcome guests and travelers. This is said to be the path to religious merit. What is your opinion, O learned Brahmana? Is further asked. Alas, this world is full of contradictions, Sanaka replied. That which makes the good and honest ashamed pleases the wicked. Moved by ignorance and passion, men act simply to gratify their stomachs. When the senses come in contact with their objects, a desire springs up to the heart to enjoy the objects. Blinded by desire, man became absorbed in following and the dictation of the senses, which they mistake for real happiness. Shonga explained that even pious men may be overpowered by desires when associating with the world and its enjoyable objects. Yudhishthira had already achieved success in his household life. Now, without attachment or material desire, he should concentrate on his practice of yoga and austerity in order to attain full spiritual success. By his spiritual power, he would then be able to support the Brahmins. Yudhishthira thanked the rishi for his instruction, which he said he would follow. Then, still desiring to find the means by which he could maintain those ascetics who wished to accompany him into the forest, the king asked Dhaumya's advice. Very nice advice we will see here. Oh, great sage, I cannot abandon the Brahmins, but at the same time I have no power to provide for them. What should I do? Dhaumya reflected on Yudhishthira's question for some minutes. Then he replied, long ago, all created beings were afflicted by hunger. Thereupon Surya took compassion upon them, drawing up water with his rays. He stayed over the earth. Then the moon, by its cooling powers, converted the resultant vapors into clouds. Then rain fell, and by the combination of sun and rain, food was brought from the forth from the earth. Thus, all beings are actually supported by the sun. Take shelter of sun god, O king, and you will be able to fulfill your purposes. Dhaumya explained to Yudhishthira how the great kings of the past had all protected and delivered their subjects by virtue of their own ascetic meditation and vows. The Pandava immediately understood. In order to secure the means to support the Brahmin, he should worship the sun god with an ascetic vow. Thus he asked the sage what means he should follow. Dhaumya instructed Yudhishthira in the 108 names of the sun, as well as the Vedic prayers he should recite. Then Yudhishthira entered the Ganga, stood facing the sun, and offered numerous prayers and worship to its deity. He took neither food nor water for several days and controlled his breathing through the process of pranayama yoga. Renouncing sleep, the king continuously praised the sun god from the waters of the Ganga. 3 days later, the blazing sun god appeared before Yudhishthira and said, I am pleased with your prayers and austerities, O king. You shall get all that you desire. I shall provide you with the food for the 12 years of your exile in the forest. This is the sun god giving this Akshaya Patra. Now we will see. The god gave to Yudhishthira a large copper plate with the following instruction. When Panchali, Draupadi, had cooked a meal, she should place the food on this plate. That food will then be inexhaustible in quantity until the time when she herself eats. This is the condition. So you can thus feed any number of men from this plate, O king. The god then rose into the sky and vanished, adding, you will regain your kingdom in 14 years from now. Yudhishthira came out of the river with the plate and took hold of Dhaumya's feet in worship. With great happiness, he embraced his brothers and then handed the mystical plate to Draupadi. She immediately cooked a meal and placed it upon the dish. After offering the food to the Lord with appropriate prayers, she served Brahmins. To her amazement and delight, she saw that she served from that plate. Food was immediately replenished. It was only when she took her own meal after serving her husband that she saw the dish finally empty. When they had eaten, the Pandavas, blessed by auspicious rites and Vedic prayers, set out for the forest of Kamyaka, accompanied by hundreds of Brahmins. See the so that's why generally sun god is worshipped. But in our case, we don't need to chant the specific separate mantras. In the Yudhishthira's case, he had done it, but we don't need to do that. Rather, we can offer, use the Brahma Samhita prayer. Echak Suresha Savita Sakala Grahanam Raja Suramurti Rasheshate Yasyagneya Samprati Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. So we have Mahaprasad of the Lord. We can show it. If you are coming to temple, you see sun, you offer, and then you show the same Mahaprasad, which is the Lord's Mahaprasad, and then you will gladly accept it. Because any of the demigods, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, any of the demigods accept these offerings. So in that way, you can offer as a thinking that is the representative of Lord Narayan, is called Surya Narayan. Is getting all the power and everything from Lord Narayan, originally from Lord Krishna. From his toenails, all the effulgence, sun is getting its power. So that's why we offer as a representative of Lord Krishna. It is mentioned in Shastra as eyes. Sun and moon are the eyes of the Lord. So one sun in the one universe, whole universe, only one sun is there. We are able to breathe, we are able to do function. Our body is functioning because of sun. If sun is not there, nothing will function. We can't move, we can't breathe, nothing can happen. Sun is such powerful. So, so we can see sun. That's why vitamin D. In order for us to be even active, vitamin D is very much required. Especially Indians have less vitamin D. Natural resources. Others they eat so many other things, so they get vitamin D more quickly. But for us, naturally to get vitamin D, we need to have sunrise, sunset timings. We need to take a walk, the sun or sit in the sun. So Prabhupada used to go also for morning walk. So it's a very important activity. So that we'll be always be active. Iron and vitamin D is very much needed for the body to be active, especially for devotion service. To engage in service of the Lord, we need it so that we can maintain the devotion service. Now, how this after receiving this Akshaya Patra, once Duryodhana, even he was so cunning that he sent Durvasa on their way. So then, what has happened? We'll see how after Duryodhana, Durvasa was unpredictable. Sometimes he would demand that a meal be prepared immediately, but when it was fetched, he would go away to bathe. He would then return after a long time and say, I will not eat now. I am no longer hungry. He would rise at midnight and call for food and other attentions, often criticizing the food and service he received. Duryodhana served him without complaint and remained attentive to the Rishi's every wish. Durvasa was pleased with the prince. Just before leaving, he said, You have served me well. I will grant you a boon. Ask from me whatever you desire. If it is not opposed to religion, I will satisfy you at once. Duryodhana felt as if he had received a new life. He had already conferred with his counselors as to what boon he should request if Durvasa should ask him. That is the first place why he invited Durvasa and acted accordingly with ill intentions. And then he will reap the benefits later on. Thus he replied, O Brahmin, just as you have been my guest, so you become the guest of Yudhishthira in the forest. He is accomplished and well behaved, and he is a great king, the best and eldest of our family. He therefore deserves to receive your blessings. You should go to him when his entire family has finished eating and are preparing to rest. You will then be well received by those pious men. See the ask, what kind of asking, what kind of benediction is asking. This is not in a right mood, so not at all good. So, but that's what it is. One who is religious, one who lost all the pious credits. This is what happens. Durvasa replied, I will do as you ask. He then left with his disciples, heading for the Kamyaka. Duryodhana punched the air in joy. The Pandavas would never be able to receive Durvasa and his many disciples properly after Draupadi had eaten. They would have no way to feed 10,000 Brahmins without the magical plate they had received from Surya. See, they are able to get the news, all this news. So this is always cunning, diplomacy of Duryodhana. So always trying to understand what they got, How can I put them into miseries? This is the evil mentality, evil-minded men constantly do this in this world. Duryodhana is just an example. Duryodhana ran to his friends. Our plan has succeeded, he cried. The Pandavas are doomed. He embraced Karna, who said, by good fortune you have fared well and fulfilled your desire. By good fortune your enemies are cast into the ocean of misery, difficult to cross. Through their own fault they now face great danger. Laughing and clasping each other's hand, Duryodhana and his counselors rejoiced. Some days later, Durvasa arrived at the Pandava camp just after Draupadi had eaten. Leaving his disciples on the outskirts of the camp, he walked in alone, appeared before the brothers. They all immediately stood with joined palms, seeing the famous Rishi standing before them. They fell in the ground in respectful obeisance. Yudhishthira offered Durvasa an excellent seat, worshipped him with all attention. Durvasa then said, I am here with my 10,000 disciples and we need to eat. We have been walking all day and are hungry. O king, please arrange for our food. We shall first take our bath and then return for the meal. Yudhishthira said, so be it. And Durvasa left for the river with his disciples after he had gone. Yudhishthira expressed his alarm. How could this be? How could he possibly feed that many people? Draupadi had already eaten, and the mystical plate would not yield more until morning. Yudhishthira asked his wife if she could do anything. Mute your line, please. If she could do anything. Uh, she could do anything. Draupadi always thought of her husband's welfare. She had to contemplate the problem. Krishna, mute your line. Yeah. Okay. So where we are. Began to contemplate the problem. Her only hope was prayer. The princess thought of Krishna and prayed, O Krishna, Lord of the universe, O destroyer of your devotees' difficulties, O unlimited and all powerful one, please hear my prayer. You are the refugee of the helpless, the giver of endless boons to all beings, the unknowable and all knowing supreme person. Kindly protect me. I seek your shelter. O Lord, as you formerly saved me from Dusyasana in the assembly, so please save me from this difficulty. Krishna was in his palace at the time, lying on his bed with Rukmini. That mysterious person whose movements are unknown to all heard Draupadi's prayers. He immediately rose from his bed and, leaving his wife, ran from the palace. Within a few moments, he was standing before Draupadi, who fell at his feet with tears in her eyes. Oh Krishna, we face a great danger from Durvasa's curse. What can be done? Krishna smiled. I will do whatever can be done, but I too am hungry. Please feed me first. After that, I shall do whatever is required. Ashamed, Draupadi replied, my lord, the vessel given by the sun remains full until I have eaten. I recently took my meal. Now it will not give more food. This is no time for joking, said Krishna. Quickly fetch the vessel and show me. Draupadi brought the dish before Krishna and examined it closely. In one corner, he found a particle of rice and vegetables stuck together, and he ate it at once, saying, my Lord Hari, the soul of the universe, be satisfied with this food, and may the Lord of all sacrifice be pleased. This is Yasmin Tuste Jagat Tustam. When Lord Krishna is satisfied, then automatically everybody is satisfied. When we put the water at the root of the tree, all the branches of the tree gets nourished. Yatha sarovaramoola nisechana skanda bhujopasaka pranopaharaat itindriyanam tada sarvahanam achyutejya. Same way. So once Lord is pleased, automatically everybody else gets pleased. That's why otherwise we are indebted to so many forefathers, rishis, and so many human beings and others and demigods, and so many people we are indebted to as soon as we are born in this world. But when we serve the Supreme Lord, then automatically Devarshi Nunam Chitranam Nayam Nunecharajam Sarvatmana Saranyam Gatam Pariharta Gatam. Once we surrender and serve the Supreme Lord, automatically all our indebtedness will be gone by simply serving the Supreme Lord. Here we can see how by serving the Supreme Lord they are able to. Draupadi, so yeah. Krishna then turned to Sahadeva and said, go quickly and bring the ascetics here and feed them. The Pandavas looked around fearfully. There was no sign of food, but they had faith that Krishna would not let them down. Sahadeva left for the river to find Durvasa and his disciples. At the river, the innocent Durvasa was expecting Yudhishthira to have prepared a meal for him and all his followers, but suddenly he felt as if he had just consumed a large meal. He looked at his disciples. They too appeared full and were rubbing their stomachs and belching. Looking at each other, the ascetic realized that none of them felt like eating at all. Durvasa said to his disciples, "We have uselessly made Yudhishthira prepare a meal for 10,000 men and done him a great wrong. Will not the Pandavas destroy us by looking upon us with angry eyes? O Brahmins, I know Yudhishthira to be possessed of great powers. He is devoted to the feet of Lord Hari, and I fear such men. They can consume us with their anger as fire can consume bale of cotton. Let us therefore depart quickly from this place before they see us again." Although he was a powerful mystic yogi, Durvasa knew that his power was nothing compared to that of those devoted to the Supreme Lord. He recalled a previous incident when he had upset another devotee of the Lord. At that time, he had been placed in great difficulty and had almost lost his life. This is Ambarish Maharaj. He picked a quarrel with Ambarish Maharaj for nothing. And then he faced great difficulty. So that's why he is realizing that now he doesn't want to make the same mistake again. Mm. Without another word, Durvasa came out of the river and walked swiftly away from the Pandavas' camp. His disciples fled away in all directions, keeping well clear of the Pandavas. When Sahadeva arrived at the river, he found no one there. A few water pots and piece of cloth were lying around, but there was no sign of the ascetics. He searched around and came across other Brahmanas who informed them that Durvasa and his followers had left suddenly. Sahadeva went back to his brothers and gave them his report. Yudhishthira was worried the ascetics will come back in the dead of night and demand either meal, he said fearfully. How can we escape from the great danger created by destiny? Krishna smiled. Oh Yudhishthira, you need not fear. Durvasa and his disciples have fled afraid of your ascetic power. Those who are always virtuous need never fear danger. With your permission, I shall now return to my home. Used to revoke Krishna as persons drowning in vast ocean are saved by a boat, so we have been saved by you. Be pleased to go now as you desire. So this way we can see how Lord, one who pleases the Lord, automatically Lord is also one who want to please the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, and the Supreme Lord is always pleased. So that's the reason he has prayed to Sun God to worship and serve the devotees, not for his own purpose. This is one of the reason. So one of the pastime of Akshaya Trtiya. Lord Parshurama appeared, River Ganga appeared. Then the Treta Yuga started on this day. Sudama visited Krishna and Dwaraka. Pandavas received Akshaya Patra from some we just read. And then Vyasdev started composing Mahabharata on this day. And then Sankaracharya, the incarnation of Lord Shiva, composed Kanakadhara Stotra on this day. And Kuvera received his wealth as position as custodian of wealth. It was very close to in Himalayas. His place is also Kailash, close to Kailash. The goddess Annapurna Devi appeared on this day and many other important events. Kshirachor Gopinath at Remuna, close to Jagannath Puri temple. On this day, the Sri Madhavendra Puri applied sandalwood, very nice, beautiful pastime.
Mama is not there. Mama outside.
What? Outside?
Hare Krishna, mute your lines, please. Okay. Yeah. Kshirachor Gopinath, Badrinath, the temple opens on this day because it's up on the mountain because of snow and all. So Badrinath is closed for the winter time. And now they reopen on this day of Akshaya Trtiya. They reopen. And then, as I mentioned, Prabhupada established. And also another important event is in Jagannath Puri, Chandanayatra starts in Jagannath Puri is a big event. On this day, the for Rath Yatra cart, they will start building the Rath Yatra cart for on this day of Akshaya Tritiya. Within short time, in June end or so, Rath Yatra will happen. Imagine. It's very, very special. So Jagannath Puri, three chariots of the Lord Jagannath is Nandi Ghosh, Lord Baladev is Taladvaj, and Darpa Dhalam is Subhadrama is. Every year they build with wood, specific trees. It's very, very auspicious. So the construction starts on this day. So you can imagine. And then also in Simhachalam, I mentioned many times, Varaha, Narasimha, deities performed special abhishek, given full Abhishek and darshan, full deity darshan of Varaha Narasimha on Akshaya Trtiya day happens. Rest of the day, on the 3/4 or 90% of the body is covered, only just a little bit is open for devotees to get darshan. So because very powerful, it's very yeah, very fearful form of Lord. So that's why they cover with sandalwood, so to cool down. And this Jagannath's Radha Yatra and Chandana Yatra has been explained about this in Skanda Puran, described in Uttarakanda in chapter 29. Um, वैशाखस्य सिते पक्षे तृतीया अक्षय संज्ञिका तत्र माम लेपयेत् गन्धलेपनैरतिशोभनम्. Smear fragrant sandalwood paste on my body on the day of Akshaya Tritiya during the waxing moon in the month of Vaishak. Vaishak Sukla Paksha Tritiya. So this is the most auspicious day. In this way, many important events have been done. Now Narasimha Chaturdasi. Before that, let's read the this Sudama Vipra's pastime, beautiful pastime and nice instruction. So one must perform charity, then one must also engage in this, apply the sandalwood paste, engage in devotional activities on Akshaya Tritiya, and engage in perform some charity, especially prasadam distribution, helping in prasadam distribution or directly distributing prasadam. So these are some of the things we should do. And then now we'll hear from the from the Sudama Vipra's pastime. Let's read from Sudama Vipra's pastime. This is in Canto 10, chapter 81. Why is it not showing? Why is it not showing? Chapter 81, verse number 1 to 2. Sri Sukovaj Sahitam Vijam Mukyena Saha Sankatayan Hari Sarva Bhuta Mano Abhigna Smayaman Vachatam Brahmanyo Brahmanam Krishna Bhagavan Prahasan Priyam Premna Niriksha Nenaiva Prekshan Kalu Satam Gati. Especially the translation and purport, very nice. Sukadeva Goswami said, Lord Hari Krishna perfectly knows the heart of all living beings. He is especially devoted to the Brahmanas. While the Supreme Lord, the goal of all saintly persons, conversed in this way with the best of the twice born, he laughed and spoke the following words to that dear friend of his, the Brahmana Sudama, all the while smiling and looking upon him with affection. Nice commentaries there, purport. Wonderful point. 4-5 verses are there. We'll read purports only now. According to Sridhar Swami, is the original commentator of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the first commentator. The word Sarvabhuta Mano Abhigna indicates that since Lord Krishna knows the minds of everyone, he could tell at once that his friend Sudama had brought some flat rice for him and was ashamed to present it. According to Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, further explanation, Lord Krishna smiled at this moment, thinking, yes, I am going to make you show that what you brought for me. He smiled, then turned to laughter as he thought, how long are you going to keep this precious gift hidden in your cloth? Krishna glanced toward the bundle hidden inside his friend's garment, telling Sudama by his loving glance, the veins showing through your emaciated skin, because he was very skinny. He was because hardly he had anything, because that's what he wanted. We will see later on. And your ragged clothes astonish everyone present. But these symptoms of poverty will last only until tomorrow morning. This Lord Krishna is glancing with that glance, is thinking in this way. Although Lord Krishna is Bhagavan, the supreme independent Lord, he is always pleased to reciprocate with those who are Priya, his cherished servant. As the indulgent patron of the Brahmana class, he especially enjoys favoring Brahmanas who are additionally qualified by unconditional devotion to him. See this, unconditional devotion. So one who is without any conditions. So that's why, yes, initially we may have so many rules and regulations. Gradually, as we continually practice this devotion service, gradually will develop so much attachment to the Lord. We are constantly engaging in devotion service. So not so much caught up in rules and regulations. We're always, sometimes that's why we see that pujaris, especially in some of the times, pujari is there for 6 months, only one pujari in some of the big temples we know in Tamil Nadu, one pujari, Guru Maharaj met him. So they told, my 6 months, his service is 6 months, he cannot come out of the temple for 6 months. So even if any bad news or anything happens in the family, nothing, they will not let him know anything. So he will continue to perform because he cannot ignore the devotion because that is the highest service. So he will is continue to engage. When he finishes his 6 months and then when he comes out, then whatever rules and regulations he had to follow, is anything happening in the family that he will follow. But until, especially during that time, they will not even inform. He doesn't come out. He stays within the temple arena. So many other pastimes are there. So gradually we will be not be too much caught up in the rules and regulations. So especially even the tomorrow is the solar eclipse partial. Even though it is not visible, generally it's not to engage in material activities during the eclipse. Before bathing and after bathing, generally recommended. And chanting the holy names or reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, any of those devotional activities should be done during the eclipse time. That is the best thing to do. Avoiding material activities during that time. Anything we can reschedule if possible. So, but devotional activities, anything we may have in the temple or anything, Lord, especially important, they must be done because for that we don't need to worry. Lord will take care. Sometimes we may be, I don't know. So sometimes it could be that we might need to serve the Guru, or spiritual master, or exalted souls during that time. Then we should be ready to do. Oh, it is eclipse. I cannot go here. I cannot do this. I cannot get these things because it is eclipse. No, those rules and regulations we have to put aside. When it comes to devotion service, then the everything else will be on the side, especially so we have to see time, place, circumstance we have to consider, but that will be the highest priority in the time, place, circumstance. So those are things we have to consider. So that's why here unconditional devotion to Him, no other things, just simply to please and serve the Supreme Lord. Now in the next verse we see that Supreme Lord said, "O Brahmana, what gift have you brought me from home? I regard as great even the smallest gift offered by my devotees in pure love, but even great offering presented by non-devotees do not please me." And we will see next purport. So that's why one must, in any festival, not only Akshaya Trtiya, but on Akshaya Trtiya also very nice to exchange gifts. That is mentioned in Nectar of Instruction. Rupa Goswami is giving that to enhance bhakti. This must be with the Lord and spiritual master. One must do, but also with other devotees also. Time to time, we should exchange some gifts. It doesn't need to be a costly gift or something. It is out of affection for the devotees, like family members or birthdays we share, like that. We should exchange gifts. It could be small things. It doesn't need to be Dadati Pratigrunnati Guhyam Akyati Puchati Munjate Bojate Jaiva Sadvida Priti Lakshanam. This is the loving reciprocation is the symptom of a devotee. So that must be developed. Otherwise, it is not mechanical process. Krishna consciousness is not mechanical process. So that's why it must be developed. So we have to start, especially Akshaya Trtiya, Narasimha Chaturdashi, all these festival days one must do. So then gradually we will develop the same affection and loving exchanges with the Lord also. Unless we develop that with the devotee, spiritual master, then how will we develop with the Lord? So next verse speaking, if one offers me with love, devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. This is the Patram Pushpam Palam poem, 9.34, I believe, 9th chapter we see, 9.26. And here, in the context, current episode of Sudama's visit to Dwarka, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has kindly continued his explanation of Lord Krishna. This verse is in reply to Sudama's anxiety that is bringing such an unfit offering was ill-considered. The use of the words bhaktya prayachati and bhaktya upahutam may seem redundant, since they both mean offered with devotion, but bhaktya can indicate how the Lord reciprocates the devotional mood of whoever offers him something with love. In other words, Lord Krishna here declares that his reciprocation in a pure loving exchange is not dependent on the external quality of what is offered. That doesn't mean we may have We may not be in a exact state or position as Sudama, even though we may have, we shouldn't become miserly and bring something which is not in a good quality. No, no, we shouldn't do that. As if we are, we don't have much things, and then yes, that can be considered. But that's why it's time, place, circumstance. Depending on what we have, accordingly to that degree, we should be ready to offer. So in that whatever, so Lord will understand because He's looking at the intention, our mood, our bhava. So bhava grahi janardana. So that's why here, in other words, Lord Krishna here declares that His reciprocation in a pure loving exchange is not dependent on the external quality of what is offered. Krishna says something may or may not be impressive and pleasing in its own right, but when my devotee offers it to me in devotion with the expectation that I will enjoy it, it gives me great pleasure. So see that I will enjoy it. So that's why what did Duryodhana do? Duryodhana offered great, big palaces and so much in opulence. Already has been told by Bhishma and others. Krishna has everything. He will not be attracted by any of that. Must offer with bhava, devotion, and he doesn't have not even a little bit. So obviously that's why Lord said, I'm going to Vidura's place. So that is what it is. That's why here in this verse it is mentioned. In this regard, I make no discrimination. The word asnami, I eat, implies that Lord Krishna eats even a flower, which is supposed to be smelled. Bewildered as he is by the ecstatic love he feels for his devotee. An example is there. When he went to Vidura's house, Vidura and Vidura's wife were so much in excitement, so much in what you call in love, completely. They are not even seeing what they are offering. Instead of offering banana, she gave banana peels and Krishna ate. So because out of love or affection, they offered. So this is what it is. So that's why we can see with cohort boys, also Lord Krishna, and with gopis of Vrindavan, with loving exchanges, then Lord Krishna is ready to accept even Uchchasta. Doesn't matter. So Lord Krishna is carrying them, or he's being carried by others. So in this way, we can see. Someone might then question the Lord. So will you refuse an offering made to you by a devotee of some other deity? The Lord answered, yes, I will refuse to eat it. This the Lord says by the phrase Prayatatmana, implying only by devotion service to me can one become pure in heart. Only by devotion means one must have sincere affection to him. That Krishna is supreme. One must have that. If he is devoted to some other person, if he doesn't have that confidence, doesn't have that realization that Krishna is the supreme Lord, then he is trying to offer as somebody else's prasad or something which is he is thinking to offer it to somebody else and trying to offer to Krishna, then obviously Krishna will not accept. Or he is miserly, or he doesn't have any bhava, devotion to him, so then he will not accept. So that it is very important to understand. Now further, according to Acharya Vishwanath Chakravarti, the description here, Krishna as the husband of goddess of fortune, implies that Sudama questioned himself, how can the Lord of Sri eat this hard, stale rice? By bowing his head, the Brahmana revealed his meditation. My dear master, please do not make me ashamed. Even if you request it from me repeatedly, I will not give this to you. I have made up my mind. But the Lord countered with his own thought. The intention you had fixed in your mind while coming here must not be frustrated. For you are my devotee. Because the intention, what intention? His intention was all right. His intention just to see the Lord. Sudama never thought I'm going to get this, get that from Lord Krishna. He has everything. No, he never thought. Only his wife was thinking. Wife had sent him to get some anything, so some wealth. So poor. So that's why he came. But he was not thinking to get. He was not ready to ask anything. He didn't ask anything till now. We will see. So next verse. This is the last verse, and this I won't be reading much because we'll have to discuss Narasimha Chaturdasi significance. Being the direct witness in the heart of all living beings, Lord Krishna fully understood why Sudama had come to see him. Thus he thought, in the past my friend has never worshipped me out of a desire for material opulence. But now he comes to me to satisfy his chaste and devoted wife. I will give him riches that even the immortal demigods cannot obtain. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that the Lord momentarily wondered, how has it come about, despite my omniscience, that this devotee of mine has fallen into such poverty? Then, quickly understanding the situation, he spoke to himself the words related in this verse. But someone may point out that Sudama should not have been so poverty stricken, since the appropriate enjoyment comes as by product of service to God, even for a devotee who has no other ulterior motives. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. This is 9.1 famous verse. Ananya chintayanto mam yejana paripaste esham nityavayuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. So, but those who will always worship me with exclusive devotion, Ananya, means no other thoughts, exclusively Lord Krishna only. Meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. So, why Sudama still had to go through? This is the reason. Important, nice. In response to this point, a distinction must be made between two kinds of renounced devotees. One kind is inimical to sense gratification, other is indifferent to it. The Supreme Lord does not force sense gratification upon the devotee who is extremely averse to worldly enjoyments. Because here, specifically, this devotee Sudama Vipra never wanted wealth. He's not indifferent. Indifferent was those, they are like Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad, and others. Lord has given. But here, in this case, Sudama never wanted it. Even the Lord wanted to give, he never wanted it. So that's why. See, you see that this is seen among such great renouncers as Jadabharata. On the other hand, Lord may give limitless wealth and power to a devotee who is neither repelled nor attracted by materials such as Prahlad Maharaj. Up to this point in this life, Sudama Brahmana was totally averse to sense gratification. But now, out of compassion for his faithful wife, and also because he anchored to have Krishna's audience, he went to beg from the Lord. But he didn't ask. But Lord knows. So that's why he didn't want to send him. So in this way, we can understand this beautiful pastime here. Now, Narasimha Chaturdasi's significance. So, where beautiful pastime has been mentioned. Prahlad Maharaj's previous history. Who was Prahlad Maharaj? So, very nice. This is mentioned in many places. Vishnu Puran, Skanda Padma Puran. This is Narsingh Puran. So I'm reading from Haribhakta Vilas, 14th Vilas, verse number 418 to 441, where it is mentioned. Tatraiva Sri Prahlad Uvacha. Namaste Bhagavan Vishnu Narasimha Vapse Namaha. Tvat Bhakto Sureshaika Tvam Paprachami Tataiva Swam Ishtaivi Mamotpanna Bhaktir Bahuvida Katam Katam Te Supriyo Jata Karanam Vadame Prabhu is asking. So how did I become? How did I develop this devotion to you? Prahlad said, O Supreme Lord, I bow down to you, O Narasimhadev. I offer my obeisance to you. I am your devotee, O Lord of Lords. I now express to you my heartfelt inquiry. O Lord, how did I develop such intense devotion for you? O my Lord, kindly tell me, how did I become your exalted devotee? Then Lord Narasimhadev said, O greatly learned one, O my son, listen carefully as I explain to you the reason for your devotion to me that has made you very dear to me. In the ancient time, you were born as a Brahmana, but you did not study any of the scriptures. Your name was Vasudeva, and you became attached to a prostitute. Now, then Prahlad Maharaj asks, how is that so? In that birth, you became so attached to a prostitute that you did not bother to perform any pious activity, except for a single vow in relation to me. As a result of observing that vow, you developed exalted devotion for me. Then now Prahlad Maharaj asking, Prahlad said, O Narasimhadev, O Achyuta, O Supreme Lord, who was my father in that lifetime? What was my duty? How did I observe your vow, even though I was attached to a prostitute? Kindly explain all this to me in detail. Now, Lord Narasimhadev said, in ancient times there was a Brahmana who was well versed in Vedic literature. He lived in the city of Avantipur, was known as Vasu Sharma. This pious Brahmana used to perform fire sacrifice every day. He was very expert in performing all kinds of Vedic rituals, and as such, he would satisfy the best of the demigod by performing the Agni Stoma sacrifice. In that state of living, he did not commit any sinful activity. His wife was very pious and humble. She was his wife and was very pious and humble. She was famous throughout the three worlds. She was chaste, expert in performing all kinds of pious activities, and always eager to serve her husband. That exalted Brahmana begot 5 sons within the womb of his wife. These sons were very pious, learned, and devoted to their father. Among them you were the youngest, and you became attached to a prostitute. Due to being attached to a prostitute, you became accustomed to drinking wine, performing other sinful activities, so that you never engaged in the study of the Vedas. You spent most of your time at the house of the prostitute. One day, however, you and her quarreled. Because of that quarrel, you missed your meal that day, and as a result, you unknowingly observed a sacred vow in relation to me. Because of that quarrel with the prostitute, you did not sleep the entire night. The prostitute also did not eat anything, nor did she sleep that night in your association. Because of unknowingly observing this vow in relation to me throughout the entire day and night, both of you became purified and accumulated heaps of pious merit. This is on Narasimha Chaturdasi, this happened. So that's why. On the strength of observing this vow, the demigods are able to enjoy their lives in the heavenly planets. In order to acquire the power to create, Brahma had observed this vow. Being empowered due to observing this vow in relation to me, Brahma was able to create all moving and non-moving living entities. Mahadeva also observed this vow so that he could kill the great demon Tripurasura. It is a fact that by the strength of this vow, Shiva was able to kill that formidable demon. Many other demigods, ancient sages, learned and pious kings had previously followed this great vow in relation to me. By the influence of this vow, all of them attained the perfection of life. The prostitute also became devoted to me, therefore enjoyed great happiness within the three worlds. My dear child, it is for this reason that this vow in relation to me is celebrated throughout three worlds. This vow came into existence just to deliver such rascals. O Prahlada, by strength of that vow, you came to render devotion service unto me. In our next life, the prostitute was born in heaven as Apsara, and after enjoying the life there immensely, she entered my supreme abode. O Prahlada, you will also return to my abode and enter into intimate communion with me. In order to propagate devotion service to me, you have incarnated without me. After completing the task of preaching the glories of devotion service, you will again enter my eternal abode. That's why when Narasimha appeared. So Prahlad Maharaj didn't ask for anything. Rather, he asked, Tadvirya Gayar Mahamrata Magna Chitta Soche Tato Vimukata Indriyartha Maya Sukaya Param Madbhato Vimudan. Prahlad Maharaj was very, very compassionate. He said, Lord, I am very much concerned about all these living entities who are suffering. So I don't want anything. I don't want to go. I don't want to be liberated. I'm very much concerned about all this. I want to deliver all of them. So that's why you can see the compassion of Prahlad Maharaj, great devotee. He doesn't want anything in return. He doesn't want business with the Lord. He wants only pure devotion service. So that's why then he will go back. So that's what has been mentioned. Yeah. Those who observe the supreme vow in relation to me will never return to this material existence, even in hundreds and millions of kalpas. Now, so further it is explained now. So, what is that vow? So, how it is done? So that is to some detail it is explained in Haribhakti Vilas. This is further in 418, the same 14th Vilas, 418 to 441. Many people has inquired about this vow. So here it is mentioned. Because Lord Narasimha incarnated on this auspicious Chaturdasi, one should carefully observe fasting and then the worship Lord Vishnu in the evening. Because of my advent on the 14th day of the fortnight of the waxing moon in the month of Vaishak, one should celebrate a festival on this sacred day which destroys all sinful reactions. This vow is generally observed on a Saturday. See, that's why I was telling 14th Saturday I was telling. Observed on generally on Saturday, but there is a consideration. When the Swati Nakshatra joins the auspicious Swati Nakshatra, sometimes by the arrangement of providence there occurs a very auspicious moment known as Siddhi Yoga. If all these factors combine, then such a auspicious day can destroy even the sinful reaction for killing millions of living entities. Even if the moment of Siddhi Yoga does not occur, those who desire auspiciousness should still observe a festival on the 14th day because it was the day of my appearance. Still, Vaishnava should never observe fasting if the Chaturdasi is contaminated by the presence of Trayodasi. Chaturdasi, so I'll look back, double check and confirm. So, because I think it is falling. 14th for New York, the Trayodasi is also there, Chaturdasi is also there. That's why I think we need to do 15th. I'll double check. and let you know if there is any change. So, but we can. So Sunday is for New York, New Jersey, and Canada, but rest of the places it's on 14th in US and India also. So, but best day is generally Saturday. In general, Saturday. If Chaturdasi is, which is very, very dear to the Supreme Lord and which takes away all simple reactions, falls on a Tuesday, it is to be observed. But even if it is conjoined with Swati Nakshatra, if it is touched by the presence of Trayodasi, it should not be observed. So this is what. So Trayodasi shouldn't be touched with Chaturdasi. Then we shouldn't observe it. So where one minute. Let me check. I have to check multiple things. Yeah, May 13th is Dwadasi. Trayodasi is up to 3:55. No, 14th. Chaturdasi, 3:55 PM or AM. I need to double check. I need to check in some other places also. 14th May, Chaturdasi 118. It's coming. Swati Nakshatra up to 4:06. Then the 15th is Purnami. It's coming at 10:16. So I need to double check. So to make sure the Trayodasi is not there. I think on 15th also Chaturdasi is there. So that's why I think for we'll double check that. 15th there is also lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse is also there on 15th Sunday, Purnami day. I'm surprised. So yeah, further it is mentioned about the vows. My dear Prahlada, on this auspicious day, one should rise early in the morning, brush his teeth, and then make a resolution to observe the vow strictly. This is the Sankalpa. Generally, on the Janmashtami, all these Gaur Purnima, all these days, only Vishma, what is it? Vishnu Panchaka, Sankalpa generally should be taken day before, ideally, or in the day morning as sunrise time. So that's what here mentioned. Brush his teeth and make a resolution to observe the vow strictly according to the prescribed rules and regulations while constantly remembering me. The mantra for making the resolution, O Lord Narasimha, O greatly powerful one, please display compassion toward me. Today I will observe this vow of yours, so kindly help me to complete it without any impediment. And that's why it is mentioned, Bhagavat Kainkarya. So, what is it? In Brahmanas, under Brahmanas guidance, so under Pujari's guidance, under Guru's guidance, we are engaging in by the strength of the Lord, Guru, and devotees. Please let me able to complete this vow, perform this vow. That's it. Bhagavato Balena, by the strength of the Lord's and Guru. So we should. That is the only way we can be able to do that. So that's what it is mentioned here. Kindly help me to complete it without any impediment. Those who want to obtain the complete benefit of this vow should not indulge in talking with sinful people, nor should they engage in idle gossip. On this sacred day, great souls who desire to observe this vow should give up conversing with women, playing chess, frivolous pursuits. They should constantly remember my form throughout the day. A learned person should then take his noon bath, either in a river or at home, or in a sacred kunda or lake filled with lotus flowers while reciting Vedic mantras. Many of these things cannot happen, but you can take bath at home and then say Ganga 3 times, then you are taking Ganga bath. So while taking this bath, devotee should rub his body either with cow dung, clay, amalaki fruit, or sesame seeds, which takes away all sins. Then he should put on a fresh dhoti and chadar and carry on with his daily rituals. After bathing and returning home while remembering me with love and devotion, one should smear cow dung on the altar for worship and prepare a drawing of a lotus flower with 8 petals on top of the altar. In the middle of the lotus, one should install a copper pitcher decorated with jewels and place a container filled with rice paddy on top of it. On top of that container, one should establish the deities of Lakshmi and Narasimha and made of gold. Obviously, we cannot do that. So, best way is in the evening we'll have Narasimha Abhishek, Narasimha Archana, and then Narsingh Yajna, Sudarshan Narsingh Homa. So all this will be there in the temple. So come there, and then obviously at home also on Akshaya Trtiya also. Another thing is, other than doing chandan, applying chandan and for the Lord, also tulsi leaves, offering tulsi leaves every day we must do on those specific days as well. Akshaya Trtiya, Narsingh Chaturdasi. I think a temple also may have offering tulsi archana to Lord Narsingh Dev, Narsingh Shila. I think Igna and Abhishek, all these three things will be done there. And in the evening, I think 5 to 9 or so on Sunday. One should give up all miserliness, use either one pala or half pala or one quarter pala of gold to make the deities. The deities should then be bathed with 5 substances before one begins to worship them. One should engage a qualified Brahmana who is devoid of greed, well versed in Shastra, peaceful, charitable, and self control as a priest. In accordance with the prescribed rules and regulations of Shastra, the priest will conduct the worship of the deities. Intelligent devotees can also worship the Lord under the guidance of the priest. On the sacred day of Narasimha Chaturdasi, which manifests in this world to destroy Prahlada's distress, one should first offer worship to Prahlad before worshipping Lord Hari. So this is very important. Just like we offer first to Guru. So before chanting also it's nice, good. It's important to chant the pranam mantra of Guru. If you are initiated, if not, we chant the Prabhupada pranam mantra. If we are taken aspiring or shelter, especially shelter and initiation, then we should chant the pranam mantra of Guru before chanting. Chanting before starting anything, actually. That's very, when we offer obeisance also, that's what we chant. Pranam mantra of Guru, first line at least, if not the full. So, because everything depends on the mercy of spiritual master. Lord is seeing us, Paramatma, is the Chaitya Guru, is watching what we are doing. So, how much we are devoted to Guru is representative. We cannot directly see the Lord, neither we can talk to him directly, neither we can get directly. So, it is through the Guru, his representative, everything is received. So, that's why Guru plays a significant role. So, further, one should install my deity and decorate me with a flower outfit and devotedly worship me by offering seasonal flowers. So, on that day, flowers, fruit, and sandalwood paste, so various things, and whatever we can offer. Fresh cloth, like these things, we should bring some jewelry, whatever we can. We should plan accordingly before and then offer on this day. One should offer 16 ingredients for worship. This is 16 upachar. For worship while chanting my holy names as well as appropriate mantras. One should also recite mantras from the Puranas during the course of his worship. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narasimha, for your satisfaction, I now offer you divine, cool sandalwood paste mixed with camphor. I mentioned the best way sandalwood paste. While rubbing itself, we put rose water and we rub it, and then we add camphor. So yeah, camphor, saffron, rose water, and sandalwood. So in this way, these are the some of the things is mentioned. Even for Prabhupada also, they used to offer to deities, and Prabhupada they used to offer. It has a nice color, nice smell, because saffron gives nice color and smell. So, camphor also has nice smell, and so that's why rose water also has a nice smell. So that's why it is applied like that. So the natural smell, fragrance, and color, and cooling effects. The mantra for offering flower, O Supreme Lord, O Lord Narasimha, I worship you along with the Lakshmi with offerings of flowers that bloom in spring and tulsi leaves. My humble obeisance unto you. Mantra for offering incense, O Mahavishnu, just to fulfill all of my desire, I worship you with with an offering of black agaru, which is rarely available even for the demigods. I also don't know black agaru, where we will get. That is incense. O Narasimha, by offering this ghee lamp which destroys the darkness of ignorance as well as all sinful reaction, one obtains special power. Therefore, I offer this ghee lamp to you. The mantra for offering food. O beloved Lord of Lakshmi, I place before you these offerings of food. May you be pleased with this offering and kindly recover all my sins, remove all my sins. O Lord Narasimha, O Achyuta, O Lord of the demigods, O husband of Lakshmi, O Lord of the universe, let all my desires be fulfilled by offering this argya to you. The mantra for offering worship, O Mahavishnu, who wears yellow garments, O destroyer of fear for Prahlada, may you be satisfied with whatever little worship I offer you to the best of my ability so that you bestow your mercy upon me. One should remain awake throughout the night while dancing, singing, playing musical and reciting the Puranas and listening to discussion of my transcendental glow. Thereafter, one should bathe early in the morning and worship me with love and devotion while following the above mentioned procedure without displaying any idleness. O Master of the demigod, please deliver all these who have taken birth in my family as well as those who will take birth in future from the intolerable ocean of material existence. O Lord, who lives on the bed of Ananta Sesha, O Lord of the universe, O Narasimha, O husband of Lakshmi, O destroyer of the devotee's fear, I am suffering from great distress due to the drowning in the ocean of sinful activities and disease. So kindly lend me your fearless hand and give me protection. O Janardana, O Lord, who lies in motion of milk, O Supreme Lord, may you be pleased with my obeisance of this vow, and you may bestow upon me material enjoyment and liberation. After worshipping the Lord and offering prayers to Him in this way, one should immerse the deity into the water of Ganga and then feed the Acharya sumptuously. So there's one who is making the deity in this way. That's with mud or whatever, gold, but generally we don't. So we worship the deity at home. So if we have Narasimha, generally I offer Narasimha every day along with other deities, Tulsi leaves. So one should offer not only Narasimha Chaturdasi regularly. We should offer Tulsi leaves. That is already Tulsi plants are available. If you don't have, then you better get at least 5, 6 of them and properly. Or don't put them outside though. Now it is still cold until May end or so, until the weather is all right. Still in the evening it is coming to less than 50, which is not good. You can't put Tulsi Marani outside now. Otherwise it will go off in few days, on and off. Cold, just like us. Temperature change, weather change, brings cold, cough, like that. Allergies for us, same way. So same way, Tulsi Marani is also like that. We should be very personally concerned. We should feel like us ourselves. So in that way, we should treat affectionately Tulsi Marani. The more we treat her in that way, more we get the blessings and benedictions and spiritual strength from the Lord through her mercy. So we should offer our obeisances. So this is very important. Therefore, one should bid farewell to the assembled Brahmanas while giving them dakshina. Then one should sit down and take prasad along with his friends while fixing his mind upon me. So in this way, we can see this is in 457 to 490 in Haribhakti Vilas. This is also mentioned in some other Puran, also Padma Puran and in other Puranas. These are explained. So this is the Narasimha Chaturdasi's significance. So you can understand now. So that we plan ahead to offer these things. Best thing is, yeah, if you can observe in this way, that means that whole day, from morning, all day you are fully engaged in these devotional activities, chanting 16 minimum rounds, and reading and hearing, reading whole Bhagavad Gita. Akshaya Trtiya also, same way it is mentioned, reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15 at least, if not the whole Gita. So whatever devotional activities, hearing, listening to Sri Prabhupada, other senior devotee guru. So in this way, these activities must be nothing anyway on the weekend. So we should be part of the Igna and Abhishek and that offering Tulsi leaves and bringing and exchange some gifts with devotees. And then, if possible, throughout night, wake up. If it is a weekend, so we should be able to do that. And so, if possible, if you are working from home next day, so that is ideal situation. Time, place, circumstance, see what is possible for your capacity, but at least engage in devotional activities that day. If we can, that is the best throughout night, not sleeping. Then we must read and hear and chant, those only. Nothing else should be done. So then it is ideal situation. And next day, complete fasting. Generally, it is fasting till dusk. That's when Lord Narasimha appeared. And then we take Ekadasi Prasad. But even better is fasting that day, whole day, and next day morning we break. But it is again time, place, circumstance, what is possible, what is your capacity, how much you can tolerate, so what you have done in the past. So all those things matter, but at least you can consider these, what depending on your things, you can do it accordingly. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakti ki jai. Any questions so far what we discussed? Let me unmute. Might be muted. Okay. Anyone has questions, comments? You can unmute if you have any questions or comments on Narasimha Chaturdasi or Akshaya Trtiya or in general any questions if anyone has.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Bala, Dhanavad, Prabhuji. Very nice class. My question was, when Prahlad in his previous life, he was observing this wrath. It was not his pure intention to do it, but he just happened to do it. So his intention was not pure. Yet he got such a great benediction to become Prahlad Maharaj in the next life, and then after that, of course, he went back to the abode of Lord Narasimhadev. So I would like to understand, like when we are doing it, we are also having Mishra Bhakti. It's not pure Bhakti, of course. So, but still, his was not even Mishra Bhakti. His was just by chance he was doing it, right? So, what is the difference between that and what we do, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Prahlad Maharaj is being the son of a Brahmana. He has done till that time until he was attached to the prostitute, he has performed pious deeds. But unknowingly, he was not that unknowingly he performed this thing. So that's why he is getting that topmost benefit. And then in the next life, at least he has been given that position. And then Narada Muni was there and he was preaching to him within the womb of Mother Kayadu, and then in that way he became a devotee. And then he used his free will and executed severely. So that's why there it says that if he has done, somebody who has done even no unknowingly, imagine one who is doing knowingly. So obviously we cannot imitate, but the Shastra is telling it is not impossible task. We can all become pure devotees like Narada Muni, like Prahlad Maharaj. Uh, to some level, whether we can come to that, but it is nothing is impossible. Narada Muni also was son of a Sudrani. He was not, but he simply followed those Bhakti Vedantis and able to do it. So, and we are in Kali Yuga, obviously, we have so many things, we are not pure either. So, so what Yuga it happened, I think this Nursing Dev's pastime happened in Satyuga as far as I remember. So, yeah, Nursing Dev's appearance in Satyuga. So, this pastime. So, obviously, he must be pious. So, he must be very pious because, as it is already mentioned, Vasu Sharma, his father himself was pious, and till that point, he was not attached to the prostitute he has performed. He was helping his father and whatever he has done. So, and then on top of it, so we can also get benefits same way. We can also attain that similar platform, but provided we follow, provided we engaging in pure devotion service strictly day after day, we practice it. There is no, it's not impossible task. So especially these festivals, that's why more and more Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti is available. So then we can become very dear to the Guru and very dear to the Lord. We can attain quickly the highest. We can rapidly progress. We can come to the path of pure devotion very quickly. More seriously, we observe these festivals: Narasimha Chaturdasi, Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, Nityanand Trayodasi. So all these festivals, Ram Navami. So any of this appearance day of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, will help very quickly. So, because we are, most of us are working and so many other things, obligations, we are not in a pure devotion. So, that also, but still, whatever capacity, but seriously, more seriously, we engage in, we can get the benefit. So, that's what I would say. So, nothing is impossible. We can become great devotees like them, but we shouldn't imitate. We should think that, oh, I can also become like that. In that mode, we should never do. Whatever the result is, up to the Lord and Guru. Our duty is to perform. Our duty is to follow these instructions given in the given by Guru, Shastra, sadhus. Then by following that, just like Narada Muni followed, then automatically became very quickly. In the next life, he became Narada Muni, not in that life. But he, in that life also, he became almost like a pure devotee. He came to the Asakti Bhava stage. So the Lord told, you will not see me again. Next life, you will become Narada Muni. So after Brahma's life is over. So it depends. Each devotee is a different case. different situations, different baggage we come with also. So, but either way, from this pastime we understand there could be many other. We just read only little bit, so many other Puranas explain. So we have to understand the whole context and see. I'll see if any other ways I know more details. I will share it when I hear. If there are more details to the Prahlad Maharaj's previous life, what other things could have been done. But so far till now, what I heard is this pastime only from many others about how Prahlad Maharaj performed unknowingly this Narasimha Chaturdasi. Wow, throughout night, whole day, right? Generally, what we do is only maximum till evening, dusk, and then we take Ekadasi Prasad. We don't fast. Generally, on Ekadasi day also, that is mentioned in many places. Whole night awake, and next day morning till that, not a single thing taking, and then continuous engaging in devotional activities. That gives even immense benefit. Obviously, we have so many things to do, so it is not a possible task. It requires some austerity and planning also. So yeah, what is possible we can try to increase, keep on increasing, but then making sure our family situation, all those not into trouble, not into, we shouldn't put others into problem. So we have to adjust accordingly and then perform to the extent what is possible within our means. So that way we can also come to the path of perfection very quickly. So that's what I would say. Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Anything else, Mataji?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, if no other questions, we'll conclude. 8:30 class. So thank you. Uh, this Sunday morning is Amarendra Prabhu is giving class 8 to 9, and following Sunday is His Holiness Aladar Swami Maharaj giving class. And following Sunday, next third week Sunday is His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj giving class. There's also a special book on Narsingh Dev, new book releasing. I ordered pre-books. I'll forward you the link if you want to order. Pre-order the book. Nursing a new book is coming up. Has released it recently during Gaur Mandal Parikrama, Gaur Purnima time. So this is a new book. A lot of interesting pastimes are shared from different Puranas, different places. Nursing Leela has been explained in that book. And the fourth Sunday is Bhanu Maharaj speaking. So in this way, so a lot of exalted devotees are being lined up to hear Narsinga Leela Katha this 4 weeks. I'll be speaking also May 14th, Saturday evening to ISKCON Austin Temple, 7 to 8 their time, our time 8 to 9 p.m. Try to join and give your association and blessings. So we'll speak some other pastimes. We'll see. We have already shared last year Narsingh Leela from Gaur Leela and from Rama Leela, Dwarka Krishna Leela. We spoke about different pastimes, how these Narsingh Dev's pastimes, Narsingh Pranam, Narsingh Mantra, which Prabhupada has given, where it came from, all those details were explained in last year. We'll see if we can discuss some other pastimes, all the Canto 7 and some other Puranas. We'll see what we can do, what our Guru Parampara gives mercy according to me. I will be able to share. And also, I think His Grace Radhe Shyam Prabhu also will be here May 29th. I just heard yesterday or today. May 29th, I think, Sunday, probably Sunday feast, I think, May 29th. So these are the upcoming events. Just want to share. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Sundras Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta, Hare Krishna.